this shit here. Where we at? What's going on, YouTube? You got your brother Jay here. If you read the title up there, it'll tell you what we're going to discuss up here. Read the title. YouTube mental illness. It's something that we all need to discuss because there's a lot of people on YouTube with some serious mental illness and mental health. And then in the Black community, urban community, or the ghetto, mental illness is overlooked because we don't have the resources to get ourselves checked out. Start when we're young. Start when the parents in out of jail, in out the foster unit, incest, kids being molested by uncles, brothers, mothers, aunts. That right there will mess up a kid head or anybody head. Or some kids are born with mental illness in the Black community. If you see the buildings in the back right there, those are Prince Street projects. That's where I grew up at. I grew up right there in Prince Street projects. And then those projects, a lot of underlying cases in the urban area come out with mental illness and mental health. Don't nobody address it. You know why? Because Black people, like myself, will say they're not crazy. Will say ain't nothing wrong with them. Until they become adults or until their adolescent years, they start doing shit they ain't supposed to be doing. Don't nobody check it. Nobody check the mental illness of Black people. When young Black men and Black women go to prison, the justice system failed to recognize mental illness when it comes down to Black people. But when it comes down to any other race, they can recognize mental illness. But when it comes down to Black people, well, that's just normal. Put their ass in jail. The justice system shows in 2016, 1 out of 5 Black, compared to any other race, will be caught up in the justice system because of mental illness, but they're not calling it mental illness because it's get unchecked, it get unnoticed. And when it goes unnoticed, don't nobody want to talk about it. Nobody want to talk about this shit. So as a child, growing up, back then, it was the thing, no child left behind. So other than fixing the problem, all he did was move us and move us and move us. Until it got to a point where your mental illness got unnoticed. Crimes in the neighborhood, infested with drugs, prostitution, death, home invasions, alcohol, like I said, flooded with drugs. But nobody never checked that to see what was wrong with that child. The child goes up, young black male, young black female, between the ages of 5 and 15. Mental illness go unnoticed. Parent ain't home, mother out doing drugs. Mother out trying to make a living for 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids. So the mother got to screw her way to the top. By all means necessary to take care of all these damn babies she done had. While the child, mental illness nobody is undetected. Nobody thinking about the shit. So now the child go from 15 to 20, 15 to 30. You start seeing it, but you say, nah, they okay. Ain't nothing wrong with these kids. Kids trying to find an outlet. So they running around the streets, saying what they want to say, doing what they want to say, disrespecting the parents. But the parents never been there. So if the parents weren't there, who gonna check these kids with mental illness? Nobody. You know who gonna check the kids? The justice system. Because they not checking to see if anything wrong with you because your ass is a black minority. And when you're black, they go undetected in the system. You could go to jail right now and tell the judge that you was fucked up all your life. Mentally. The judge was overlooked that. But if you any other race, the judge will make sure you get help. But when it comes down to black folk, oh, that's just normal. Throw them in a cage. Give them 5 to 10 years. Here, shake that shit loose. Nah. You can't shake mental illness. You can't shake mental illness loose. You can't shake it loose. Because you never got treated for it. You never got help for it. So now you going through life fucked up in the head. Mental illness and mental health done kicked in. The same way you was raised, you treating your kids like that. Now you putting all that mental health, mental anger. You putting that mental illness on the kids. How you think a little girl feel when she's 7 years old raising her brother and sister? How you think a 7-year-old girl feel when she got to raise 5 kids by herself because the mother ain't there? The father locked up somewhere, or he not in the projects, so the 7-year-old girl's raising 5 kids. She walking around, hat back bent, got one baby leaning to the side, and got the rest outside running around the housing projects. You don't think mental illness gonna kick in? Eventually, she gonna end up having 5 kids. Who's there to blame? Can't blame her. You gonna blame the system? You gonna blame the parents? Mental illness is serious in the black community. It's very serious because nobody talking about it. A black man go out there, he got a lie on his mind. He don't know how to cope. Now they make weed legalized. They legalize weed. You don't know what's in the weed because it's medical marijuana. Medical. Something he smoked would trigger an imbalance in his head. He fucked up now. Same thing with a young black female. Nobody checking for it. So since nobody checking for it, she ain't got nobody to answer. So now you got to walk through these streets and watch everything. The people that you claim crazy, it could be yourself. But nobody checking for it. What happens after that? What happens? Now she running around here having 5 kids, 6 kids, but her mind never got fixed. Same thing with a young black male. His mother had 9 kids. All he knew was to make a bunch of babies. Then they label him a baby machine. His mental status is fucked up. But nobody checking for that. You know why? Because we black people. Nobody check for black people. They'll check for any other race, but they won't check after us. But they'll put us in the system and lock us up. You know how many black men is sitting in prison now for mental illness that haven't even been checked yet? So you tell me you keep a man in prison for 20 years, and after 20 years you let him go and never checked his mental status. You know why? Because you already know when we let him go, we already got 20 years out of him, 20 years of slavery. You let his ass back in the street. 9 times out of 10, we give him 1 year, he back in jail, giving you free prison time, free more slavery time. Because you know, like I know, prison ain't number slavery. Prison ain't number modernized slavery. We're full of mental illness and mental health. Nobody checking for it. So now, because of COVID, where's your mental health now? Because of COVID, your mental health is on YouTube. Your mental illness is on YouTube. You got people sitting on YouTube that has bipolar. And what they do on YouTube, they go ape shit. They done took bipolar and mental illness and mental health and brought it right to YouTube. Y'all don't see this shit? Anytime you got to be sitting on YouTube and dragging, disrespecting kids, you don't think that's mental illness? You don't think that's a mental illness? Anytime you got to sit on YouTube and be doxing people and throwing people on the bus and putting people information out there for the world to see, you don't think that's mental illness? You don't think that the shit that's going on YouTube ain't being watched by the justice system? They know everything we do up here. But to some of y'all, it's banging. To some of y'all, it's the right thing to do. To some of y'all, I'm built for YouTube. Nah. YouTube ain't built for that. Because with all that mental illness going on in the black community, you ever notice why YouTube put your ass in the black sector? You ever notice that shit? You ever notice if you come on YouTube as an African American and as a Hispanic, YouTube will put you right in the black sector. You ever notice that? Did you ever figure out why the hell you end up in the black sector? Because YouTube demographics already know once you start putting up vlogging videos, you ain't got to say you black. They already know where to put you. They're going to put you somewhere because YouTube act like it's segregated. YouTube will put your black ass in a segregated sector where all they want to do is bang, what they call it. They want to bang on you. They want to disrespect you. They want to put your business out there. They call it docking. They want to dox you. They want to dox you, put your business out there, tell where you live at, your first and last name, the company you work for. They even go as far as though it's calling your job to get you fired. What's up, Rose Gold? Davis go as far as calling your job to get you fired. Do you ever notice that? That soon as you come on YouTube, they put you right in the segregated black sector. On one end of the sector, you get the conscious community. That's on the left side. And the right side, you get somewhat of the mechanics of the black sector. But right there in the middle, they put you right there with mental illness and mental health as black people. But we don't see that shit because we on YouTube clowning and disrespecting each other. That's all we know. Anytime you could come on YouTube and go to somebody's channel and all they doing is disrespecting their self. When you look in the mirror, you see black. You don't see shit else. When you on YouTube, go cam up and stare at yourself on the YouTube screen. All you see is yourself. So when you doxing somebody, you doxing yourself. When you tearing down kids, you tearing down yourself. Because all you doing is exposing how you came up in the urban ghetto community. That's all you doing is exposing it. Hey, what's going on, Crown Key? That's all you doing is exposing yourself. This YouTube sector is segregated. I don't understand why the whites even come over here. Unless they just want to come over here for a clown show and see blacks call each other niggas. So they could go on their own page and start saying the word nigga. And why should we check them? We call each other niggas. It's a mental illness. Do you know that the justice system got programs for every other race with a mental illness and mental health than the black race? See, y'all don't know that because nobody get helps for this shit. You could tell somebody right now, hey, calm down, man. Don't you know have you took your pills? They don't want to hear that shit on YouTube because everybody on YouTube is normal. But majority of these people on YouTube with a mental balance in their head, they would never say the shit to you on YouTube. They would never say it in the street. See, on YouTube, you can get away with being ill. You can get away with being retarded, fucked up. You can get away with this on YouTube. But in the real world, all that doxing, what's going on, brother? What's going on, Lazo? In the real world, all this doxing, dragging people kids, and calling people names the way they do on YouTube, you would never say that shit outside them doors. You wouldn't do it. But on YouTube, in this black segregated sector that I'm gonna say it. The sector that we in is segregated. Y'all have to read between the lines and see this shit. The sector that we in is segregated. But we come up here and we call each other queens and we call each other kings. But while the justice system, your government, your local police, your feds, your CIA, the government, what they doing, they sitting back watching all of this shit unfold. All of this unfold. But what we do, we get up here and act like clowns. Yeah, we get up here and act like clowns. It's one thing to get up here and tell jokes. That's cool. But to get up here and drag a black man, yeah, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. For some of these women to get up here and drag a black man the way they do, and then when you turn around and start disrespecting a black woman, then you label as a weak man. Vice versa. Vice versa. If you a black man and you come up here and drag a black woman, then you're not a king. You're dragging a queen. See, I had to explain to my daughter this, right? I told my daughter the difference between a queen. No, I told her not the difference between a queen. I told my daughter what makes a queen. What makes a queen is a woman with class. That's a queen. What makes a queen is a woman with class. It ain't no woman out here telling no man to suck her dick. Ain't no woman out here telling no man, fuck you, calling him all types of faggots and gays. I don't give a fuck what anybody call me. But that's not a woman. That's not a woman. I don't give a fuck if you got 5 kids. If you in the house holding it down, paying your bills, taking care of 5 kids with no man, you a queen in my book. But if you on YouTube and everything come out your mouth is foul, then that ain't no queen. That ain't no queen and you ain't got no class. That go for men too. You want to call yourself a king, but you get up here and entertain these so-called queens. You entertain them. And when their mouth is so disrespectful and you check them on it, they say you tearing down a black woman. That ain't no damn black woman you tearing down. Because first of all, if she was a black woman with class, she wouldn't disrespect that black man, and that black man wouldn't have to disrespect her. That ain't no queen, and you ain't a gentleman. You ain't no king. You ain't no king if you got to drag a black woman through the streets. And you ain't no queen if you still up here dragging black men. That ain't no queen. I don't know what the hell y'all call her, but that ain't no queen over here. That ain't no queen. It's mental illness. What you see those buildings in the back? That is Prince Street Projects in North. That's where I grew up at, right there on projects, on Prince Street. And in those projects, a lot of young kids came out those projects, lead poison, drug-infested babies, alcohol running through the system, having these kids. Most of these kids in the projects came out fucked up. And I'm going to keep it 100. A lot of kids in the projects came out fucked up. Coming out those projects, there was no system to be put forth so you could take your kids or most of these parents to go with the kids to seek mental health. So how you think a kid gonna act that's lead poison, crack in the system, and alcohol in the system? How you think these kids supposed to act if they never got help? Their mental health is rampant on YouTube. How you think they supposed to act, man? This don't just go on in North, in New Jersey. This go all over the world. This shit, they got ghettos in they got ghettos in Canada. This shit all over the world, man. But YouTube give a platform in the segregation sector. They give a platform for you to act like this. And you act like it's not a problem. That's like telling a junkie he's a crackhead. Know what he gonna tell you? Nah, bro. This is recreational. Tell somebody they got a mentally disturbed problem. They're gonna tell you, nah, fuck off. Excuse my language. They're gonna tell you that, fuck off. Ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. You can see this shit on YouTube. And this is my thing with this whole YouTube shit. You got a lot of people been on YouTube for a long time. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And the elders in this sector, what they want to call each other, they seen a lot of this mental illness, bipolar, running rampant through YouTube. Nobody never said nothing. So now, us, the YouTubers that been up here a year, we runs into this problem. Then you say, yo, I didn't know they act like this on YouTube. So you contact the elders and say, yo, you ain't gonna talk to this person? Or you ain't gonna talk to this man or this female? Oh, nah. Don't worry about that. They just being theyself. You sit back and say they just being theyself. Then they tell you, don't argue with a woman. Don't be in woman business. They tell you to take the high road. If a man disrespecting a woman, or she turn around doing the same thing, oh no, take the high road. But how long you supposed to take the high road when the mental illness is everywhere? How you gonna take the high road? Tell me that. You could take the high road and say, I'm good. I ain't gonna say nothing. So you try to hold back, you hold back. The mental illness don't go nowhere. It stays right here in this segregated sector on YouTube. I'm not calling this shit no sector no more. This is segregated. YouTube got us in a segregated sector while they got the justice system watching this shit. They got the government watching it. They got your local police and your feds watching this. Well, what we doing? We giving them what they want. YouTube is going to end up being slavery on here. You're going to do everything you could do to please YouTube for views, for likes, and hoping to get a paycheck. You tell me that ain't no slavery shit to me. That's all this shit is, man. But y'all don't see it. You come up here try to help people, they drag you. Okay, cool. You can put all this shit together. Got us in a segregated sector, man. And y'all don't even see this shit, man. You got to have your third eye open. They got us in a sector where they got us tied and they got locked in. I don't care if you come off YouTube for a whole month. I don't care if you take a year off YouTube. As soon as you press that button, they come back, you're back in the segregated sector, man. You right back where it started from. Unless you come up here with content doing something else other than blogging as a black person. Because when you're blogging as a black person, you're going to be in a segregated sector. It might not be this sector. It could be other sectors. When you go into the white sector or different nationalities, they make a content about everything. They can make content, throw a paint up against the wall and got 1 million views. They can make content about going in the woods and chopping up an animal. They have 300 subscribers and turn around and have 50,000 views. You bring your ass in this segregated sector and you go out there and do the same thing. Go in the woods with a licensed firearm, shotgun, and go hunt and shoot something. And you bring that shit up on this segregated sector of YouTube, they'll flag it and tear your page down. That's why they don't give a damn if we up here disrespecting each other. That's why YouTube don't give a fuck. YouTube is waiting to see a murder amongst black people so they can vlog about it. They don't care what we do on here. You can say nigga all day on YouTube. They will let that shit slide. You talk about gays, you talk about Jews, they'll cut your fucking channel. You will get on here and call a black man a nigga. And YouTube won't do nothing. But you get your ass up here and talk about the gays and the Jews. They will cut your page. They will make sure they ban your ass from YouTube. Your ass be on TikTok making videos. They don't give a damn about nothing else as long as you don't cross that thin line. That's that gun line, boss. You don't cross that line on YouTube. YouTube gonna make sure they show example of you. That's why YouTube don't care if we drag each other on here. YouTube don't care if you put somebody information out. YouTube don't give a fuck if you sit up here talk about somebody kids is being raped on YouTube by another YouTuber. YouTube don't care about that shit. You know what they care about? They care about you sitting on here like a bunch of niggas and disrespecting each other. It make views for YouTube. This is views for them. Every other race, if you find somebody channel overseas, they take your channel and they make videos. Like right now, I'm making this video right now, right? I'm doing a live right now. This live can end with no views. But overseas, they get my live and they break the live down. They get 1 million views. They don't give a damn about what we do over here. So when we gonna start caring? When we gonna start caring? You know why? Because we mentally fucked up. That's why. I don't care what a black man do on YouTube, you're gonna get dragged. I don't care what a sister do on YouTube, you're gonna get dragged. I don't care what you do. Because if they don't have a hand in what you're talking about, you ain't a part of that sector. You ain't a part of that group. Nah, you're not a part of that segregated sector, man. YouTube is segregated when it comes down to the black. So they don't give a damn what people talk about on YouTube. They don't. They don't. It was gonna on Naughty Reborn. They don't. We in a segregated sector on YouTube where we dragging each other and kicking each other like a bunch of slaves. And YouTube is sitting back, reaping the reward. YouTube got commercials on us calling each other niggas. YouTube is making money. YouTube is making damn near millions of dollars a week. You know how much they probably making off the black sector? They probably making $1 million a day off the black sector, just dragging each other for views, entertainment, everything. You could go to any social media platform and play music. Come on YouTube, you get flagged for it. But YouTube could put a commercial under your page with music. And they won't even pay you. You could go to my channel right now if you're not a paid member with YouTube and you'll see commercials. I'm not even fucking monetized. And I got commercials under my page. And they making money off that. They making money off this nigga sector we call banging. We call a sector. Nah, this ain't no sector. This is segregated, man. They got us all in a segregated sector. So if you want to get in the mud, you want to rumble in the jungle, come over here. Because they know they ain't trying to monetize your ass. They not monetizing you over here. You want to get monetized real fast on YouTube? Find something else to do. You want to get monetized on YouTube and make 50,000 views with 300 subscribers? Find something else to do. Because over here in this segregated sector, you ain't making over here. So what you got to offer, though? This is what they want us to do. They want us to stay segregated. They want us to stay beating each other up. They want us to stay doxing each other. This is what YouTube want us to do. And we doing a fine, good job at it. We doing a fine, good job at it. Yeah, I know they own everything. We doing a fine job at it. Tearing each other down, man. For what? For what? I'm not going to sit on nobody's page. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I'm not sitting on nobody's page while they tearing down a black woman and a black man and giving them a like. I'm not doing that. I'm not watching that shit, man. I'm not coming on YouTube to watch us drag each other. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to your page and watch you sit there and drag a black man and a black woman on YouTube for views. Because every time you give them a view and every time you give them a like, you telling them to go, 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 go. You want them to get in the mud. I'm not doing it, man. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't watch the videos. I'm not entertaining this shit. I'm not giving it a view. I'm not doing it. Oh, you got if y'all got my name, so what? What you gonna do with it? You got my last name, what you gonna do with it? You know what I work at? What you gonna do? You gonna call a job? And they gonna give me the phone because I own the truck? You two want to see somebody come outside the door and get their ass killed. For what? For views. You know how many YouTube have a large, I think out of all these social media platforms, YouTube have a large amount of suicide on YouTube. YouTube have a big community of suicide. Taking their life over YouTube. Is it that serious, man? To take your own life over YouTube? People being pressured to get views and get views and get views and get views by all means necessary. If you got to get out there and drag a black woman and drag a black man or drag anybody of any race just to get views, is it worth it? It's to the point where as though don't nobody want to go outside no more. Don't nobody want to go to the club, I know COVID is here, but before COVID came, people was spending more time in the house on YouTube than they was in the streets. This shit don't make no sense, man. It don't. If you up there dragging each other, I'm not watching your video, man. That's, people say, well, it's entertainment. Okay, cool. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Not watching it. You can say anything you want about Quil. That's cool. I'm not going to watch you. I'm not. I put that shit on my kids. I'm not watching you. I'm not watching near one of these fools up here running their damn mouth. I'm not watching you. I'm not going to give you a view. I'm not going to your comments to see what people saying. I'm not doing none of that shit. Because if I do that, then how would that make me look? It'll make me look just like you. Any one of y'all up here doing this shit. I'm not looking like y'all. Now, see, it's one thing. Hey, what's going on, Greensburg? See, one thing is one thing. Is one thing if they bang it, make it funny. Okay, cool. But see, Rose Gold, when they up here being disrespectful, man, I don't find it funny, bro. Even if you being disrespectful and you trying to make it funny, I don't find it funny, man. I really don't, bro. I don't find it funny, man. I can't find it funny. I can't find nobody funny disrespecting each other as adults. Now, if y'all got a comedy hour and y'all joking on each other, okay, cool. I understand. I can take the jokes. I'll joke back and forth. I'm cool with the whole joking thing. But the word banging, to me, is disrespect. Now, the word clowning, okay, yeah, if you up here clowning on each other, at least make it funny. I can go with the clowning part. But just the word banging alone. Because once you get the best of them, I know Rose Gold, you keep it funny, man. But once you get the best, it sounds like you say like if you just keep it funny, right? Okay, we all clown and we keeping it funny. That's one thing. But it's kind of like being in the street and you slap boxing your best friend. And you get the best of your best friend. You know what he gonna do? Them slap boxing hands gonna turn to fists. Now you're fighting now. The same thing up here. When you use the word banging to go to clown somebody, then when you get mad because they got the best of you, they coming back disrespecting you by all means necessary. And you know what they say to you? When they dox you and disrespect you, you know what they say to you? They did it to me. Shit, I ain't do that shit to you. But that's what they say. They do it. They did it to me. So I'm going to do it to you. Hoping that my bipolar kick in and I go do the same thing to that person, that person, that person. So it's going to continue, man. But I'm not watching none of this shit, bro. I come over to Rose Gold shit, they be over there clowning and laughing. I don't call, when Rose Gold and them be over there laughing and clowning, I don't call that banging. They be over there clowning. I'll go over there and get a good laugh out of that because they be over there laughing their ass off. But to be over one sector, this segregated shit, and be totally disrespectful, I don't find that funny. I don't find somebody talking about somebody's kids funny. I don't find somebody talking about somebody doxing somebody's wife and calling somebody's wife on the phone and telling them some bullshit. I don't find that funny. I don't find it funny when somebody get up there and find something about you and put that bullshit on the airways. I don't find that funny. I find that a mental setback because there got to be something wrong with you to be putting information on the airways and acting like you can't be touched. Yeah, the verbal attack. Yeah, it was murder. Yeah, I know. Because it's like that. It's because what it is, you understand one thing too, Crown King. I know you understand, but a lot of people up here feel as though they can't be touched. Because they're in Arizona, Canada, Milwaukee, Oklahoma, Hawaii, shit, Germany, France, New York. You in New York talking shit to somebody that's in Hawaii. Because it can't be touched. So that's why they can do that. Because if you feel as though you can't be touched, they can do that on YouTube. But it's a small world. That's what people fail to realize. Small world. Fail to realize that shit. But we in this segregated section of YouTube, black people, segregated, being watched by the government, tearing each other down, doxing each other for the world to hear it, man. What you say on YouTube, this shit stay on YouTube forever. You could die tomorrow. Here's a sick behavior. You could die tomorrow and your information that somebody put out is still on YouTube. And somebody else is using that information as content overseas somewhere, sitting in a basement in a dark alley with a cell phone, is sitting there using that as content. Somebody might say, hey, why are you using that shit as content? That's that bad information. Or that's her information. Know what they're saying? Well, so what? They put it out there. He ain't do nothing to defend himself. Well, how you gonna defend yourself if the person is sitting 3,000 miles away from you? You can't defend yourself. Because it's like, let me tell you one thing how YouTube work. If you're not monetized on YouTube, you're not monetized, and you got little views, little subscribers. Somebody that's monetized can tear you down. And soon you try to defend yourself and let YouTube know what's going on. YouTube gonna tell you they're not gonna respond to you. You know why they're gonna respond? Because you're not making money with YouTube. You cannot go after somebody on YouTube that's making money with YouTube. Once you partner up with YouTube, they won't allow you to go after that one person or anybody else. They protected by YouTube because they have a partnership with YouTube. So they can say anything they want about you. Can't go to YouTube with it. Ain't nobody paying your ass no mind. Because you in the segregated sector on YouTube. That's why I put those, you see those projects? I grew up right there in those projects. That's Prince Street Projects, PSP, North New Jersey. By the segregated, you can get that shit. The projects weren't even made for us. Do you know that? The projects was made for men coming home from the military. Prince Street Projects was built and owned by a guy named Ivory Hill. When all the military men left the projects and moved on, that's when they started letting the blacks move in. But by that time, Ivy Hill, the guy Ivy Hill, he done built Ivy Hill apartments in Hillside. No. Right there in Irvington, he started going further up Springfield Avenue, the Ivy Hill apartments. He started going further up until his ass got up there in Livingston. They got away from black folks because the projects weren't made for us. When they put us in the projects, they knew they were segregating us ass because they knew where to come get us at. But they didn't know that we turned the projects to a battleground. So when they ran their ass up in them buildings, they weren't getting who they was looking for. Projects weren't built for us. It was built for the military, not for us. We just happened to land on Plymouth Rock. Just happened to land on it. Built for us, man. And when we moved to them projects, that's where all the mental illness started, man. Coming out the ghetto, the hood, streets. Mental illness is running rampant through the fucking hood. Rampant. There's no system for us in the hood when it comes down to mental illness. There's no system in there. You got to go to the suburbs. You got to go to the suburbs and get that. There's nothing in the hood for us. So at the end of the day, we end up on YouTube. Undetected. Because there ain't nobody looking for that shit. You go to jail today with mental illness, they're going to say, that nigga okay. That's what they're going to say. They're going to give you 5 to 10 with mental illness. And not one of them 5 years, they're going to check and see if you mentally disturbed. They're not checking for that shit. Because the justice system got to set up like that. We so mentally fucked up. We so mentally fucked up as black people that we think it's okay to be fucked up. We think it's okay. We really think it's okay to be fucked up in the head. We really think it's okay to come on here and say, I'm from the projects. I'm from the ghetto. I live in the projects. You know what's wrong with the projects? The projects wasn't built for us, and it wasn't built for us to stay forever. It was built for us for a short term, so to get our shit together and get out. Some people never left the projects. You got people that never left the city they live in. Yeah. You ever met somebody in your city that said they never left? 50 years old, never left the city. You could ask somebody in your neighborhood, say, yo, how you get to 5th Ave and 31st? You know they gonna tell you? What the hell that's at? All I know is the corner store and back. This is my hood. That's all I know. They never left. Never left, man. That's all we got, right? All we got is this disrespect in YouTube and the segregated sector we call home. Shit sad as hell. Don't make no sense. Shit don't make no sense, man. Because I'm not watching black people drag each other. I'm just not watching that, man. You can say anything you want about me. I'm not watching the shit. I'm not. I'm not watching it. If you got my name, you got my last name, then pull up. I live in a Commonwealth state. I live in a Commonwealth state. And what I mean by that is they make up the laws as they go. They make this shit up as they go. Because you come up here, ain't nobody protect you up here. Up here in this state, they got what they call the stand your law in Pennsylvania, stand your grounds. And they got that up here. Up here, they got self-defense. They got that up here. But it's to the point where, man, they think because they say shit, it sound tough on YouTube. It sound weak as hell to me. Sound weak. Talking tough on YouTube sound weak to me. Having all that energy on YouTube sound weak to me. Talking crazy on YouTube, that's a mental illness problem. All that shit sound weak to me, man. I don't pay this shit no mind. I'm not gonna pay it no mind. If I can survive the housing projects in North, when I lived on Prince Street, that building right there, Prince Street, when I lived on Prince Street, we lived on the 9th floor, 234 Prince Street. I lived in the projects, we lived in the projects from 1 to 15 years in the projects. 16 years in the projects. What's going on, Tazo? 16 years in the housing projects. And if I could survive that shit and can't survive YouTube, come on, man. Come on. You think I came on YouTube to be weak? Bamboozled? You think I came on YouTube? Nah. Hey, appreciate it, Rose Gold. Think I came on YouTube for that? I didn't come on YouTube to be weak. I came on YouTube to make a lane. That's it. But if you choose to stay in the lane on YouTube, in this segregated sector on YouTube, if you choose not to change your content, then you know what's going to happen. Hey, it was Chantel, I see you. You know what's going to happen on YouTube? If you choose not to change it, you're going to stay stuck in this segregated sector with the disrespect of black women and black men. You're going to be stuck here. You're going to be stuck, man. And that's how it's going to go, man. You know, if y'all want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But hey, man, but do me a favor. I know that's you, Melee. Show your face anyway, man, because they got a Melee running around here, man. Hold up. If you don't show your face, man, you know, can't let you up here, man, because they got